Katawa Shoujo. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Muto reads equations and formulas to us one by one, in his usual unenthusiastic monotone, directly from the book. It's possible that he might be excited about what he's teaching us, something he can display. What?
Can you not read that word?
Sometimes. Something he can display an awkward spark of passion for it, as if he's something to get into the material. Most days, however, are like this one. What we're covering is fairly something, so I find it increasingly difficult to keep my concentration on him. It's not too long until my something begins aching again, which only makes it feel even harder.
I know it.
I'm almost something to regret walking around the city yesterday with Lily. Yeah. Since leaving the hospital, I've done very little physical exertion, like jerking off. Walking to and from the local corner store hardly counts. Despite Emmy's attempts when I first arrived in Yamaku, I largely given up on the something of ever returning to my old level of fitness. I have little doubt that's why I'm walking around town for so many hours has made me quite so sore. But it's depressing. It reminds me of one more thing I can't do since I had my heart attack. It makes me feel pathetic. Now, that's not the shopkeeper. Now, Ikezawa.
It's John Wayne.
Yeah. It's odd for Muto to ask Hanako a question, but not unheard of. She quickly jumps to her feet, a little startled, and immediately pins her eyes to him. She knows that Muto calling on her is rare, so all eyes in the classroom are going to be on her. This way, she doesn't run the risk of making eye contact with anyone else. Yes? In this particular example of redox reaction, the combustion of methane reaction actually produces one more product than is listed. That product is... Even though it's a softball question, she timidly waits a bit before answering, biting down on her lower lip as if to keep her concentration. Heat? Well done. This is an exothermic reaction. I was tempted on doing a Sean Connery, but I can't, so. With the reaction given more heat than it put it into it.
You sound like a constipated Bane.
Yeah, it's not great.
Oh my god! I'm gonna do Bane for this guy. Hold on. Receiving a nod from Muto, Hanako takes her seat once. I was born in it, molded by it. Hanako takes her seat once again and gives a relieved sigh. A shaky start, but it's something. It'll be nice to take her out for her birthday, somewhere different from the usual isolation of her room in the tea room. With the progress she's made until now, I don't think she'll have much of a problem going to the city. Right then. For the remainder of this class, I'd like you to work in groups of 3 or 4 on the problems in Chapter 12. I'll be here if you need me.
Muto, you guys put some more detail in levels 12 to 14. Maybe some more fun factor.
Alright. Muto sits behind his desk, pulls up some loose sheets of out of a folder, and starts on some kind of paperwork for his own. I thought teachers were supposed to do that kind of thing after class, not during it. Regardless, I look to my right and pick out someone to form a group with. Given the 2 smiling faces hovering near me, mine, and I don't think they're going to get much say in the matter. Suppose we have a group then. P-chan, you want to work together? Okay, that's great. It's really been a while. The class begins to process noisily shuffling the desks around, with Shizune doing the same as she puts hers in front of mine. She's a little lucky to not be able to hear the din of the classroom, which is loud enough to cause some discomfort. Truth be told, working with Shizune and Misha is working with Shizune and Misha is probably a good outcome. Shizune and I are pretty good at the subject, and Misha has really nice handwriting. Darkness. Oh, you think darkness is your ally? Ah, you merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was a man, and by then it was nothing to me but blinding. As I look to Misha, I notice a tall figure behind her. The shadow catches Misha's attention as well, and she turns to face the dark-haired observer. Good afternoon, Hanako. Hello? Shizune finally notices Hanako after looking up and following the gazes of Misha and I. In quick measure, she taps Misha on the shoulder to get her attention before signing away. Shi-chan says, if you're looking for a group, you can join ours. Hanako looks down and blushes a little at the offer. Out of all the people in the class, Hanako's most familiar with the three of us, so it's reasonable she'd come to us first. Then again, her actually coming up to a group with the intention of joining them is something she apparently very rarely did before. She leaves briefly to drag her desk over, and Shizune and Misha wheel back to me as soon as her back is turned. I guess we get to play again, He-chan. You hardly ever play with us anymore. I wonder why. You two always seem to have an ulterior motive. That hurt, He-chan! I almost think you were insulting me. But it's He-chan, so I know that you're joking. Such a great sense of humor about it. It'd be awful if someone were to take advantage of your good nature, like making you help them with their work. Shizune seems excited for a second, a little surprised that I'm willing to challenge her, but when she sees Hanako coming back, she backs off with a smile. I guess the mind games are over early today. Hanako sets her desk in front of Misha. Her eyes are locked downwards, and I'm left wondering why until I look around the class. Most are busy setting up their groups, but a few are casting curious glances at her. At this range, it's hard to tell whether that is where their interest in her ends, or if they are talking about her as well. It's strange. No one bats an eyelid when Hanako runs out of the class to avoid group work, but now that she's making an effort, they're staring at her as if she's done something wrong. We all move to sort ourselves out, spreading our textbooks and worksheets around the larger surface created by the four joined desks. It isn't long before the class as a whole gets down to work. Hi, Hanako. It's nice to finally work with you. Yeah, whatever. Are you the reason He-chan's been avoiding us lately? Shi-chan is a little rude, but if He-chan wants to spend time with a cute girl, it's understandable. I don't think it's like that, faggot. Hanako starts to fidget, unused to this kind of situation. Yeah, me too. I think that an ordinary person would drop the conversation by now, but Misha is like the antithesis of Hanako. Part of that includes being blind to ordinary social cues, while Hanako is overly sensitive to them. Because of that, Misha barrels ahead with the questions too quickly for me to get a chance to interject and guide the discussion somewhere more comfortable. Really? So, he wasn't hanging out with you yesterday? No. I can feel my cover being blown already. Lily didn't want Hanako to know that we were out buying presents for her, let alone planning out her birthday party. It wouldn't be good for her to find out. Shoots her in the face. Only darkness now. Yeah, I was doing something else. You know how it is.
The perfect excuse.
God, like, in any other situation, if this was actually me, I would have said I was busy in my room jerking off. But, you know. Really? I wonder what was so important for Hee-chan to blow us off like that. If it wasn't to spend time with Hanako, then what could it be? It's really interesting. Now this is starting to feel like an interrogation. I'm surprised how Misha is able to exert such a feeling of pressure without actually intending to. Were you with Lily? Out of nowhere, Hanako managed to stumble on the answer. She may be dreadfully quiet and shy, but she's very intuitive. What makes you say that? Yesterday, Lily said something similar. Suspicious, Hee-chan. I demand that you explain yourself. I demand you take them corkscrews and shove them up both of your holes. Hey, shouldn't we be doing the assignment? But it's so mysterious. Even Hanako wants to know. Wow. I turn to look at Hanako. It's true from the expression on her face. It's obvious that I apologize to Lily. I feel a rush of what the fuck? Why does it keep doing this? My text went like really fast for no reason, and then just kept skipping. Probably. It's true. From the expression on her face, it's obvious that she wants to know as well. I think we're past the point where I could weasel out of having to provide an explanation. I apologize to Lily in my mind.
So supreme.
I apologize to Eva in my mind. He really did want to keep it a secret, but now it doesn't seem possible anymore. I feel a rush of conflicting emotions, so jumbled that I can't readily identify them, but they crash around in my head as I try to calm down and speak. Alright, I'll tell you. I went into town with Lily, but it wasn't what you think. Lily and I were, for Hanako's birthday, the cat is out of the bag. It looks like Hanako is taking it a bit better than I thought she would. Brief silence around the group. Misha and I can tell that they didn't expect their games to turn out like this. Misha looks up to Hanako in order to apologize, but then pauses. Hanako is staring at the middle of her desk and barely moving. A maudlin expression.
Yeah, way to cover it up.
Got it. I guess I was wrong about her taking it well. Hanako? I'm sorry. A few seconds pause, but Hanako listens and shakes her head. It's okay. Her spirit looks odd, like she's very tired. It doesn't seem natural. What's wrong, bitch? But it's nothing alarming. Nobody really wants to continue with the current conversation, so we open our textbook and begin our group work. This is pretty dull. Well, the equations we're supposed to work out as a group will take a while. Most of it's going to be boringly mechanical. It also doesn't help that while that didn't go as bad as it could have, it has left an awkward atmosphere around us. Still, we manage.
Can't hear it. Is it really bad? Alright, hold on.
Shizune's face betrays that she's about to...
Oh, page 2.
Alright, hold on. I have to get ready.
Yeah.
Shizune's face betrays that she has about the same expectations of our work as I do, and the two of us begin to write our group's results. Misha, on the other hand, is scrunching up her lips and very visibly trying to make heads or tails of what we're doing. Hanako is looking on quietly, absorbing what we write and what I say. She usually has the same expression when the teacher speaks. It's a shame her attendance is so unreliable. With the way she takes in information, I think she'd do quite well in this class, if she actually followed the lessons regularly. I wonder if this might be why... Oh, the music stopped. Oh, there it goes. I wonder if this is might be why Shizune seems so hard on her. Hey, Hanako, do you understand this? Misha looks to Hanako, but I suspect her hope is more to find a comrade in ignorance rather than genuine help. Not really, I guess. I'm surprised by how tense she is in answering, but she settles back down.
You're so
She
intense.
breathes out, and the way her upper body and head lowers reminds me of a deflating balloon. You okay? I can go over this a bit if you want. Hanako shakes her head slightly, but then again, I don't think she needs the extra explanation despite what she said. Misha quickly interjects, entirely oblivious, and I end up slowly going through how we ended up at one of our results, step by step. Times like this reminds me that this kind of work may not be mechanical for everyone, but rather feels that way to me due to my grasp of the subject. It's a satisfying feeling. As Misha brings her balled fist into an open hand in realization, I discover another nice feeling. My explanation got through to her, and she manages to work out the next equation by herself with minimum guidance. Though throughout all of this, Hanako is unusually unresponsive. She's normally very quiet, but one can still see her eyes roving periodically over the landscape of the classroom in front of her, or anxiously moving her hands in some way, or shifting her shoulders periodically. Right now, these small movements that I've gotten used to seeing her are all missing. Someone not moving at all is definitely weird. Even Misha can tell there's something wrong. Hanako, are you sure you're okay? Yes. Are you sure? I'm fine. A little more strongly this time, but she turns away as she says it. It only makes me doubt her answer, yet at the same time, I can tell she doesn't want to talk about it any further. Having already had one very awkward conversation today, that I'm still not fully over. I don't want to pursue the matter too much entirely either. But we settle back into our routine, debating over our answers whenever a doubt comes up. But as time goes on, I notice that Hanako isn't talking at all. It's frustrating. She had made so much progress. It makes me a little angry that Shizune and Misha for undoing the surprise that they wanted to keep so secret so much. I know I'm at fault too. Maybe I could have kept it under wraps somehow. Zuz knows Hanako's silence as well, and is also getting antsy. I can see it on her face. It's strange that even though she's deaf, Shizune has perceived Hanako's unusual quietness sooner than Misha. Hanako, you're being too quiet. You have to contribute too. Someday we might work on a bigger project, like one that's so big it's worth celebrating afterwards, like with ice cream or cake. If you act like this, we won't take you along. I can tell they're trying to tease her to bring her out of her shell, but I don't think that kind of approach will work on Hanako. It will just make her feel worse. Guys, don't tease her like that. He-chan, it's all good fun. She-chan says she teases everyone anyway. They do back off though. With Misha moving away from the oh my god, I don't care. With Misha moving away from the issue by asking me a question again. On seeing how difficult the problem she is working on is, I don't know whether it was a skillful dodge or mere coincidence. It takes away more of our time than necessary because Shizune keeps disagreeing with me while I'm trying to explain it to Misha. But Misha is quick to believe her over me. So quick, in fact, that she forgets to translate what Shizune is saying. Hey, the clock is kind of ticking down. We should speed up a bit. He-chan, you sound a little like She-chan there. Just because I looked at my watch, geez, is that really all it takes? Time management, and suddenly I'm the student council president. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I look at Hanako's desk to see how she's doing, and freeze. Our papers are covered in equations, but Hanako is only halfway there. It seems like she hasn't written anything in the past 20 minutes. When I realize that, I want to kick myself for how dumb I've been. I should have known that someone as fragile as Hanako wasn't going to brush off what happened so easily, but I've been too eager to move on from an awkward situation to notice. She has been slowly shutting down for the last half an hour, and I had no clue. Her pen is still in her hand, and she doesn't slowly spin it around like she usually does. There isn't a single idle movement from Hanako. Only the fact that she tries to inch away once she feels Shizune, Misha, and me looking at her tells me that she is even still conscious. Please, what the fuck did I just say? Alright, cool. We look away, and at least in my case, it's partly out of shame that it's gotten to this point. Though on the outside she has been shut down almost completely, I know it's a different story on the inside. What kind of things could she be thinking about as she tries harder and harder to shrink into herself? As if by willing it, she could somehow disappear. Everyone is looking at her now, stealing quick glances in between putting the finishing touches on their work. Misha attempts to ask her what's wrong, but that only makes the problem worse. If she weren't frozen to her seat, she probably would have run out the window. She probably would have ran out the window by now. Misha's questions are loud enough to be heard throughout the entire classroom, and for a second I'm ready to snap at her, because I can only imagine how much worse it is for making Hanako feel. Of course, if I were to do that, it would only make the situation worse. I believed that Hanako had gotten stronger, and she has, but it wasn't enough. And I was too eager to believe it. Now she's terrified, alone in the middle of a classroom, and there's nothing I can do without drawing more attention to her. It's infuriating. Misha's worried, and even Shizune's biting her lip. None of us know how to deal with this situation, so I decided to call Muto. His judgment would probably be better than ours. I look up and manage to catch his eye, silently motioning for him to come over. I want to make a little fuss about this as possible, such that there's anything that would make it worse, it's more attention being focused on her. I know that Hanako can see everyone staring at our group, specifically at her, because they know that if there's a problem, it has to be her. Everyone knows her, and it's the first thing anyone's mind would leap to. Her reputation for being a truant has marked her as an unusual person.
The treant, like the living trees.
Yeah. Reputation of her being a tree person has marked her as even an unusual Yamaku. Who knows how many times this game has really pretty music.
Yeah.
Who knows how many times they have stared at her before. Maybe it's because she's seen the class staring at her so much that she fears their gazes. Like, I'm gonna kill myself. I keep skipping over words because I'm much too out of my mind to understand what words are. Like she does, cowering from them. The time it takes for Muto to walk over is like an eternity to Hanako. She looks as if she's about to fall over. Muto quietly begins to ask us what's wrong before catching himself as he sees Hanako. Did we upset her? Don't worry. Muto bends down after calling Misha, and I pause the game, and looks intently at Hanako's face. Hi, Ikizawa. Can I help you at all? His voice is touched and gentle. Yeah, whatever. Everyone's acting so differently around Hanako now that the whole class has noticed something wrong with her. Hanako doesn't respond, so Muto gently rests a hand on her shoulder. She starts shaking at his... She's vibrating, Sonic! What's happening, Sonic?
Uh-oh.
She starts shaking at his touch, but won't even look up. Hanako continues to stare into the equations on her desk, vision so unfocused that I doubt she even sees them. She's worse... Oh...
But did you not know that?
Well, I mean, I got that much, but, like, I don't know if, like, something was about to happen cool or some shit.
Yeah, she's gonna take off.
I was expecting her to, like, explode or something. Come on.
Yeah, she's been a rocket the whole time.
No, not like that. Like, start screaming at Misha and Shizune for being faggots.
No, you gotta do that.
Oh, do I? Sweet, I'm gonna scream. She is worse than before.
Oh,
I remember
wow.
that not even an hour ago. What? She was able to talk to him almost normally. Muto grimaces a bit as he stands again, and now that his expression changed, I can see he wasn't exactly unaffected by what happened either. He takes a breath to settle himself before speaking in a very quiet tone. I'm a little impressed at how quickly he takes control of the situation. Is that it? Nothing's wrong then. I'm not giving him the voice. Muto seems to say that to no one in particular. However, his words sound convincing enough that most of the people who were looking over at Hanako now turn away, getting back to their work. He gives a quick glance to his left and right. Several people at his desk around us are still staring curiously, but other than that, we seem to have escaped attracting too much attention. Muto notices me doing the same as him and smiles a little, in his usual stilted way. I think, for Ikazawa's sake, that it would be good to quickly take her somewhere away from others. Nakai Hakamichi, could you please take... Or Ramsey Hakamichi, could you please take Ikazawa out of the classroom? I'll keep everyone settled, so please don't worry about... About her. Anything about her, but... Please don't worry about anything but her, okay? He looks to Misha to tell her to interpret his words for Shizune, but she's already finishing her translation by the time he does so. It's remarkable how little thought she needs to sign, as she still looks quite dazed otherwise. Nodding, Shizune and I stand and move to either side of Hanako. Muto steps back to allow us some room, and talks to the table behind us as some people there have begun to mutter between themselves about what's going on. We look at each other before lowering ourselves in unison, taking one arm around each of our shoulders and lifting. She punches Shizune in the face. The two of us begin to walk at a slow pace to make sure we don't inadvertently hurt her. As much as we try to make this look normal, I'm quite sure there would be many more gazes on us, if not for Muto's distraction. Eventually, thankfully, we reach the door and go through. Nobody's outside, so we walk down the hallway. It doesn't seem like it's making her more at ease than she was in the classroom. Finally, I ask her if she just wants to sit down. For a while, we simply stay in place and wait for her to say something. She tentatively rubs Hanako's shoulder a little, but there's no response.
Give her a little rub down.
I fucking hate that Shizune bitch, man. Eventually, she shakes her head a little when Shizune tries again. Both of us are looking at her, so we pick up on it immediately. Shizune's hand again comes to rest on Hanako's shoulder as she awakens, her face lifting to two very worried and anxious people looking at her. She looks at us silently for a while. I'm initially worried she might freak out or do something extreme, but those fears prove unwarranted as her expression slowly changes from an almost lifeless blank stare to a normal, withdrawn shyness. She wordlessly lowers her head, her eyes evasively moving to the side. She looks embarrassed, almost ashamed. I want to say something, anything, to help. I can't, though. I paused the game again, goddamn. I can't, though. I don't really know what just happened, or even what caused it. I feel helpless, and ashamed of myself for not being of any use. Shizune sighs before looking at me. Even without words, I think I can tell what she's asking. I'll take Hanako to the nurse. Is that okay by you? I try to communicate my intentions through hand gestures, but I don't feel like I managed to get through to her very well. Shizune makes a dreary face in response to my gesticulations, confirming my impression. She stabs her fingers in the air decisively, first at me, then at Hanako, then towards the stairs. She waits for me to nod before pointing at herself, then pointing the door to the classroom. I get the feeling Shizune is much better at this than I am. I nod at her, since her plan is, after all, the same as mine. Shizune gets ready to make her exit, but she only leaves after looking at Hanako for quite some time. Are you okay with me taking you to the nurse's office? Hanako doesn't say anything or nod, but she stands up in place by herself, and when I begin to walk, she obediently follows. I've read about people being catatonic before, but I think this time I'm seeing it for myself. She looks very tired, After everything that's happened, it's not surprised. After Hanako silently takes off her shoes and lies on the bed in the infirmary, the nurse and I take our leave. He shuts the curtain behind us. We both take a seat and I quietly and thoroughly go through everything that happened in quite some detail. I want to understand what happened, and the nurse has as good a chance as anyone of knowing. He nods through my expression, his face looking troubled when I finish.
Ow.
And when the hurricane settles, Eva stands, proud and strong. It must have been very troubling for you to have seen all this. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I get that she fainted, but I don't really understand anything about why it happened or why she's acting like this. He nods, but his face is clouded. You don't know either. Well, yes and no. It's very complicated. I assume you've heard about the concept of patient confidentiality at some point? This is a bit of a minefield in that respect, and I'm going to put this very pretty bluntly. This is a matter for Ikizawa, me, and her therapist. I move to protest, but think better of it. I want to deny what he says, but if I think this through rationally, what he says makes perfect sense. I understand. Good. I wish I could help you more, but I think that Ikizawa needs right now isn't someone prying into her past or her emotions. She just needs someone to be there for her.
Hey, so there's... You definitely walked in and sat down next to her and you're having this conversation in front of her, right? There wasn't like an extra thing? Where
Yeah.
you both just leave?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, he put a curtain between you and her.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
okay, thank you, nurse.
Oh yeah, they did say that.
Whoa, hold on, I'm backing it up. Yeah, you can't, wait, okay, so they put the bed, she puts her, they put her on a bed in the infirmary. He shuts the curtain behind us. We both take a seat. So they just like put a curtain down and they're like, okay, she can't hear now because she's blind.
She can't.
She's like a lily.
She's.
Yeah, but they take their leave by closing the thing. It can't be that far. If they just closed a curtain
And then immediately sat down.
and then sat down, it's not like they're made of money.
No, I'm
I
pretending
want
they're
this to
like
be
right
dumb.
there.
And standing next to her.
She's blind, like fucking Shizune. She needs a friend. For what it worth, I think you've done in bringing her here. Sound like you and your friends dealt with the situation well too. I give you lollipop or sticker as reward, but you might be a little too old. He gives a cocky grin, obviously trying his best to lighten up the atmosphere. I'm not really in a laughing mood, but he does manage to get a smile out of me. Thanks. Do you mind if I stay here with Hanako? I appreciate that, but I think it would be better to let her rest for now. She be let back in dormitory room evening. You could visit then. I agree with him before standing. It feels like all I can ever do is around the nurses humbly agree to what he says. But I understand with the doctors in the hospital too. We'll walk back to the classroom's a long one, my mind feeling heavy under the weight of so many things happening so suddenly. Even as I re-enter the classroom, I'm thinking about Hanako. My stomach feels like it's turning into knots while I think about how to deal with her. I still don't know what I'm going to say when I see her again. Thankfully, the class doesn't pay me much heed. There are a couple of questioning glances, but overall, not many people seem to be very aware of what happened. Muto raises eyebrows to get my attention when I pass his desk. Ramsey, I take it Ikizawa is in the infirmary now? Yeah, I took her there, and the nurse said I should let her rest. Muto Nudge, assuring me that I made the right call. He scratches his chin for a second before rising from his desk. Everyone, I want you to continue with the exercise. Ramsey, I'll see you in the hallway, please. His speech is hushed, but overall, he doesn't seem to be acting too differently from how he usually does. Being a teacher, maybe it's to be expected. As we go into the hallway, I notice him taking a quick glance left and right to check if there are any students milling around. The hallway is nearly soundless, but I can't think of anything except waiting for Muto to speak. Ramsey, what do you think the purpose of the school is? To cater to the needs of disabled students? Muto scratches his head as he shakes it. No, if we wanted to do that, we would have built a whole new school from scratch. One floor, talking whiteboards, that kind of thing. Look around, Ramsey. The school is about giving you all a future that you would have been denied in regular education. Huh? Think of it this way. If I wanted you to graduate and go straight into a hospital, do you think we'd put in this much effort? The bluntness of Muto's statement temporarily stuns me, causing me to forget about the immediate situation. No? That's right. We want you all to leave here as useful members of society. Society. I'm not quite sure I'm following you. I have high hopes for you, Ramsey. You are possibly the first student I've had that gets my lectures. That isn't something that a teacher should be admitting so freely. You could easily take your studies of science well into university. Have you ever considered that? I can't say I have. Well, what have you considered? For your future, that is. Can't say that I've put much thought into my future. For a moment, I'm distinctively reminded of those questioning about the same subject. It's only been a little over 5 months since I was gasping for air on the ground. It's too soon to be thinking about the future, and besides, Hanako's problems seem much bigger to me right now. Muto gives a disapproving sigh before continuing. Think of this place as an opportunity. Here you have boundless facilities, good teachers, plus the added bonus of the nurse and his staff. You should be doing nothing but thinking about the future. Right. As I raise my head to meet his gaze, a thought occurs to me. It's almost like Muto totally sidestepped the issue at hand. Excuse me, why do none of the staff seem to care when Hanako skips class? I've seen you watch her walk out the class more than once. Shouldn't you at least say something? Well, Ramsey, it's not really that simple. Every student here has special needs. If it weren't for that, then we wouldn't have a school here. For example,
special needs.
Your special needs. I wouldn't keep you in class if you were having trouble breathing, would I? But that's not... Muto cuts me off before I can even think about finishing my sentence. Ikazawa's case is very much like that, but instead of CPR or a pacemaker, what she needs is time and space. The faculty has been made aware from this from the day she arrived here. Thus, whenever she feels the need to leave the classes, we let her do so. And even though she isn't a star pupil, she seems to pass all of her exams, so it hasn't affected her ability to study. Isn't that enough? I open my mouth to protest, but I can't find a fault in his argument. While her condition does at first seem to be wholly physiological, its worst effects must have been on her psyche. It still puts me off, though. Isn't he just passing on the responsibility of her problem? Surely she can't go like this for her entire life. I understand that you might not be used to this kind of thing yet. It's been a big change for you. That said, it's less than a year until graduation, though. Maybe you won't have to get used to the school. If you keep your head down, I'm sure you'll do well enough in your exams. I numbly nod, more to simply acknowledge that I'm listening than out of agreement. I felt like I was getting used to the school, but it feels like I've just been thrown back in my face. But what about Hanako? I hope that she will perform well enough to do what she wants to do. What that is, I don't know. Not all students leave schools with an idea of what they want to do, unfortunately. He takes care to emphasize his last words, as if it wasn't quite clear enough already, and gives me a moment to mull his words over. Today's been a troublesome day for you, and I doubt you'd be able to concentrate much anyway after all that's happened, so I'll allow you to take the rest of the day off. Your grades are good enough. Your grades have been good in this class so far, which makes me think you won't have any trouble catching up on what we've been doing. He gives a small smile along with his praise, as if to make up for the seriousness of his lecturing for him. Go collect your things. I'll see you tomorrow. Right. Thank you. Man, wish people would have panic attacks in my school. I'm kidding. That's a very bad thing to wish on people. Muto's roundabout speeches left my thoughts scattered. I'm still not any closer to working out what I can do to help Hanako, if anything, and my mind is all the more confused after what Muto said. I'm also bothered by the fact that Hanako was helped at least as much by Shizune, her enemy by proxy as by myself, but I don't know whether that is just male bravado or genuine concern. While I collect Hanako's and my things from the class, I continue to try and sort out my feelings. I want to say that I understand her, that I'm here for her, but while I might have been able to say that yesterday, I can't say it now. I wish I could. I lay on my bed, trying to collect my thoughts. Hold on a minute. I lay on my bed, trying to collect my thoughts. After Hanako's panic attack, I found myself fundamentally... If I pause this game one more time. I found myself fundamentally reassessing the relationship we share and what I know about her. I had a hard enough time dealing with 4 months in the hospital. One look at her scars tell me that she was in for a lot longer than I was. Be that as it may, I know next to nothing about her past. She's told me about the house fire, but only in the most basic way. And what of her family? I still haven't asked Lily about them. There hasn't been a good opportunity to bring it up. I don't know where she grew up, or what her old school was like, nor of her past, friends, her wishes and ambitions. Not even her taste in music, food, and movies. All the little things that I knew about all my old friends. Just what have I been doing for all this time I've been with her and Lily? In the distance, I hear the bells signaling me into class. With any luck, Lily will soon realize that neither Hanako nor I are around, and return to the dorms. My mobile phone starts ringing, cutting my thinking short. It quite startles me, as I've rarely been called since coming to Yamaku. Hello, Ramsey speaking. Oh, Ramsey, I'm glad... This bitch has my number? I'm glad I found you. You weren't at any of our usual places, so I thought this would be the fastest way to contact you. How did she type it in? She's blind.
Yeah, come on.
No, that's stupid.
Also, you'd probably know, like, the layout of a number pad.
Later, sure. Because I'm actually kind of curious about that. I probably should have guessed it would be Lily, as she's one of the few people I've given my number to. Even through the phone, her voice sounds slightly on edge. Hanako and I left class early. She had some kind of panic attack. The line goes silent. If it weren't for the background static, I would have thought that Lily had hung up on me. I understand. Could you come by my room? I'd like to talk with you. Sure, I'd appreciate the chance to have a little bit of a talk, actually. Good. I also have some bad news. I think we should discuss this in person. Hanako killed herself. It's
So
hard.
did Lily.
Lily killed herself. This is another person. You're getting kidnapped, faggot. It's hard to grasp the seriousness of the situation from Lily's tone. She sounds so calm most of the time, but that could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Quiet, just kill the prisoner?
What? What? No.
Sonic, what did she do? No, I'm not that far yet. I was just doing a side up, and I instructed a prisoner, and then I see you went up in the Fulton. She shot at him.
What?
But it was a regular prisoner. It wasn't like an enemy.
Stop getting off the topic!
No, screw you.
Stop! Okay, I'll be right there.
I haven't got to the hamburger part. I wish I got to the hamburger. I haven't even met Code Talker.
What? Stop!
I
getting
like
off
just got to
topic.
Africa. Yeah, I know. I was just there. Afghanistan's rad. With all the mountains. It's tasty. Yeah, Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Alright, I click. Yeah, me too. Or I'm gonna take a shower and then do whatever. So I collect Hanako's school things from my desk and head straight to Lily's room. I rap my knuckles on her door and she soon calls me in. Lily sits at the table inside her room, looking a little worse for wear. I guess that's because of the bad news. Following her gestures of invitation, I sit across from her and lay on Hanako's things on the table. Well, there was no point in either of us waiting. Would you mind going first, Ramsey, about what happened today? My memory of the incident is already beginning to fade, but I explain it as best I can to Lily. Inviting Hanako to work with the group, Shizune and Misha's questioning, our foray to town getting discovered, and the subsequent panic attack. I had Shizune's reaction almost as an afterthought, but Lily seems to take some kind of comfort in hearing about it. I guess rivals don't become rivals for no reason. There must be some history there, but now is the time to explore it. I see. She had said her therapist sessions were helping, but I had my doubts. It's quite a shame. Her birthday has caused problems before, and I had hoped that she would have improved with you around, but the more intensive therapy. Where is Hanako now? Last time I saw her, she was in the infirmary. I guess she's gone back to her room by now. She was in the library or in the tea room when I checked, so I can only assume that as well. You said you also had some bad news. What's the matter? Does it concern Hanako? She shifts her position, her body's way of saying she's searching for the right words. My aunt has fallen gravely ill. I'm afraid I'm going to be heading back to Scotland to visit her, and to spend some time with my family. What? Is she alright? When do you leave? I'm not altogether sure of exactly how she's faring at the moment, though last I heard she was stable. I'll be leaving Saturday. It's the earliest flight that I get. Stable. And that's code for needs to stay in the hospital. I've been stable long enough to know that, and to know that it doesn't necessarily mean someone is in good condition, but merely treading water. On the upside, stable is much better than critical condition. At least she's not on the brink of death. Stable. That's a relief. Yes, but this means that I won't be here for Hanako's birthday. I wanted to tell you now so we could think of something before we told Hanako, but after today's events, I'm not even sure if there's going to be an issue if we simply cancel the party. I don't think that is such a good idea. Hanako already knows that we were planning a party now. To go back on it seems like the wrong thing to do. Also, we should do something for your going away, right? You make it sound as if I won't be coming back. If all goes well, I should be away for a week, though possibly two. That's one relief, at least. With that in mind, what do you suggest then? Given the circumstances, I don't think karaoke is really appropriate. You're not going away for the greatest of reasons, so having too much fun would feel wrong. What did you do for her birthday last year? Last year, I literally couldn't get her out of her room. She locked the door. All I could do was leave food outside for her, making sure that she was eating, that she was at least eating well. This is perhaps the most depressed I've ever seen and heard Lily act. I feel sorry for her, given how defeated she must feel to be unable to help her closest friend. Perhaps it would be better to throw the party before you leave them. That does sound like it would be the easiest option. I think we should tell Hanako both about your trip and her party. I have her things from class as well. That's a good point. Should we go and visit her now? I think that'd be a good idea. Part of me is dying to see Hanako. The last time I saw her, she looked like death walking. And my Jesus Christ. And these last few hours have torn me apart just thinking about that. We quietly get up and file out of Lily's room. Hanako's room is next door in the same hallway. Knocking lightly gets us no response, but the door proves to be unlocked. Lily pauses for a moment as the handle unexpectedly moves under her hand before opening the door. Hanako's room is startlingly bare and monotone. There's no decorations on the plain white walls, the plain dark blue blankets, and only a few books, papers, and purely utilitarian. I'm trying to say the word. I'm trying. Utilitarian. Oh, fuck it. Items on the shelves. God. I'm on like the state of like. I'm in the state of intoxicated, or it's not even like good. It's just like annoying and dumb and stupid. Even her bed sheets are monochrome. That says, yeah.
Even her bed sheets smell of cum.
No, even
Oh,
her
no.
bed sheets are monochrome. No! The entire room feels as subdued as Hanako's character. Hanako herself is laying curled up on her bed. She may not be crying now, but her eyes are closed tightly to stop herself. And the tracks left by her tears still sit on her reddened cheeks. I quietly walk in and set her back down on her desk, afraid of startling her too much. Hello, Hanako. Ramsey told me about what happened today. Are you alright? Hanako's eyes open, though only a little. I'm okay. She tilts her head slightly to look at me, noticing my grimacing before I can hide it. Sorry for making you worry. Really, I'm fine now. She really doesn't look nor sound okay, though at least she seems a bit more calm than she was before. She still looks as if her slightest breath could emotionally break her. I said it before, right? You don't need to be sorry for this. Ramsey's right. I shouldn't have hid something like a birthday celebration from you. I see Hanako shiver at the word. Lily picks up on the silence that follows and crouches down to Hanako's level. I am the only one who should be sorry, Hanako. Hanako's eyes open to peer at Lily. She looks at Lily for some time, taking in her face with those dark, analytical eyes of hers. Lily must have made the right impression on her, as Hanako recovers enough to prop herself up on the bed and shift to sitting on its side. Hanako worries about many things, but troubling others is foremost among them. Hearing Hanako's shuffling, Lily moves forward and feels at the side of the bed, eventually taking a seat behind her and taking Hanako's left hand in both of hers. The feeling of me being out of place when the two are together has lessened in the time that we've known each other, but it's occasionally very much there. This is one of those times, I think. Lily, if you want me to go. I don't want that. Lily and I are both surprised at Hanako's mustering of her courage. A half-mumbled okay is all I can give her in reply, and I take her desk chair to sit in. Hanako, I'm afraid I have some bad news. So Lily's going to break the news now. With Hanako having affirmed our relationship so clearly, perhaps Lily thought the timing was good, or at least as good as it will ever be. My aunt has fallen ill, so I need to return to my family for a time. Concern replaces Hanako's remorseful expression. Your family? You mean in Scotland, right? Scotland! That's right. Akira and I will be leaving Saturday.
The movie.
So yeah. I'll be taking my copy of Akira with me. No, I haven't finished watching. So you're going away? I won't be gone for long. Probably only a week or two. I'll be back before you know it, and Ramsey will be here, right? That's right, I'm not going anywhere. Hanako seems to only take minor comfort in this, but she does manage to summon some resolve from somewhere inside her. Is your aunt gonna be alright? I'm not sure. Silence falls. It's depressing that the thing to truly bring Hanako out of her rut is another's misfortune. I decided to bring up the other matter that brought us here, to distract at least.
Steve said if you put a gag on Hanako, you can do whatever now. It's not like Lily can see you do it. Just let her keep talking.
Please.
I'll ruin this game if it's the last thing I do.
The game's already been ruined after I fell off a roof.
Yeah, well.
To
do it
distract
again.
at least, in part of her dismal feeling permeating the room. Anyway, we were thinking that it would be a good idea to have some going away party for Lily, and it could double as, yeah. I cut myself off before mentioning her birthday, as that seems to be a trigger for such fierce emotions within her. Lily gives Hanako's head a gentle squeeze. Is it alright by you, Hanako? It won't be anything lavish or overdone. Just something small in my room. Just in the school? Just us? That's right, just the three of us. If you like, I could ask Akira to come as well. Okay, you're only going for a week? 1 week or 2, yes. I promise you won't be any longer. Okay. Most people would be upset about hearing their friend's family member falling ill and happy at having a party, but with Hanako it seems that both events are on the same level. Alright then. You look like you need rest, Hanako, so it might be best if we all went back to our rooms for now. You know that if you ever want anything, you can always talk to me or Ramsey, right? Lily's voice is pensive, and an unusual edge for someone as confident in herself as she. I understand. Thank you, Lily. Ramsey. Well then, good night, Hanako. Night. I let out a long breath. I let out a long breath after a red dog crouched behind us. It felt like we've been deep underwater, and only now I've been able to come up for air. Lily doesn't seem to be doing well either. She looks pale and drawn. Are you alright? I'm just a little tired. It's been hectic recently. Have you slept at all? A little tired sounds like an understatement, given how you look. I think I managed to get a couple hours of sleep before class. I'll be okay. I feel bad about pressing Lily right now. I think both of us are pretty tired from everything that's happened as well. I think you should get some rest. It's been a big day, and staying up isn't good for your complexion. Thank you for your concern, Ramsey. Good night, then. Okay. Night, Lily. I leave Lily in the hallway as she opens the door to her room. I begin to make my way to my own. As I walk down,
I go back.
Then I go back, kicking the door, and gag her. As I walk down.
Finally.
After all these years.
I had to kill her parents to get at her. But now we're together, finally.
It's a long and drooling task. But
Long
finally,
and drooling task.
a long and drooling task.
Uh,
I drooled a lot as I came here. As I walk down the quiet hallway, I can't get that image of Hanako out of my mind, huddled and pitiable, lying helplessly with tears on her cheeks. I begin to think that she was just a normal, extremely shy person, but her problems run much deeper. Trying to take our relationship further than what we share now, when she's so fragile and vulnerable, wouldn't be right. I don't need to be more than her friend in order to protect her, to try and stop anything like this ever happening again. The possibility of my feelings for her going beyond that doesn't matter anymore. Hanako is precious to me, and that's why I can't take advantage of her. But even so, there's still that sting I feel when I think that way. For now, I need to sleep. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be a better day. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for coming.
I'm making myself moist.